How are we doing, guys? And welcome back to All Leeds TV. It's your post-match reaction. Bristol City 0, Leeds United 1. Post-match reaction. I am filming this through different software, so hopefully it will run quite smoothly for us anyway. So let's get straight into this one. As usual, I've made notes on the game, talking points about this game, because it is absolutely massive, this one. It feels like, I'd say, arguably our biggest win of the season so far. Psychologically, the fact we've gone second in the league. Yes, Southampton have got games in hand. Yes, Ipswich have got games in hand. Yes, it could change, in less than 24 hours' time. It could look very, very different. We could be back down to fourth potentially. But psychologically, it feels big. That first time this season we've actually got into the top two. It was unthinkable on New Year's Day that we could get into the top two this quickly. But the form has been absolutely spot on. It's not like Southampton made a lot of mistakes. They've only dropped one game, away to Norwich. So we've had to be absolutely perfect in 2024, and we have been perfect in 2024. And you have to look at it as well. This is without Pascal Struijk available, Dan James out the team, Ethan Ampadu obviously having to change position. We still feel like we're improving all the time, despite not having the perfect starting 11 available. It feels like we're improving all the time. And I think we are getting the very most out of this Leeds team. I think we're getting the absolute maximum now. Yes, it would be nice if we won games a little bit more comfortably, but we feel comfortable in the games. It feels like, in terms of chances, we're creating so many chances in games and we're not conceding many chances. Teams are finding it really difficult to create against us. I think this Leeds team defensively is outstanding. It feels like a boring thing to say when you've got talent such as Jorginho Rutter and Crescencio Somerville. But defensively, it's this Leeds team is really starting to stand out. And I think the big thing with Daniel Farke was when he first came in, the perception was, it'd be beautiful football, nice, attractive football to watch, but defensively, it'll be found wanting a little bit from time to time. But it feels like consistently we're improving all the time in that regard. We look so settled out of possession. The fact that we've lost Ampadu in the base of that midfield, he's had to go to centre back, and Pascal, alongside Joe Rodon, it still seems as seamless as ever. And that is a sign of a top manager. That is a sign of a manager who's able to adapt to what he's got. And we just keep going, don't we? We just keep finding ways to win games. And some weeks we're absolutely breathtakingly good. Other weeks, it's a little bit more tense. Preston at home, a couple of weeks ago. Norwich was quite a tight game, but we just find a way. We do find a way to get in control of the game. And you have to say, if anything, we're unlucky to not be on more points than what we're on. We've taken 2 points a game, which is normally enough for top two. This season, typical Leeds, it might not be enough because, we're up against real good competition this season in Leicester, Southampton, and Ipswich. It might not be enough 2 points a game, but we just keep going. We keep finding the way. And yes, the big thing is we know we don't have a lot of depth. I think Connor Roberts coming in is a really, really smart signing. It adds to the depth in that kind of regard. At right back, but across the team, we don't have lots of depth, compared to Southampton and Leicester. But what we do have is a manager who gets the absolute maximum out of the talent he's got available. You look at the likes of Elia Gruev in recent weeks, Junior Firpo, Patrick Bamford, Wilfred Gnonto today, getting the winner. These players in the first bit of the season hardly played a game. Never mind start a game, they hardly played a game. But Farke's getting the most out of them. If he has an injury, it's like, no problem. We've got other options to come in. And it's not even so much, it's not the numbers that bother me. It's the numbers don't bother me at all. It's the fact that the players that are the depth effectively in the squad, because when we have a fully fit squad, a lot of those players are mentioned out those four probably aren't starters in this Leeds team. And that shows how much the recruitment's been spot on. Daniel Farke's one-to-one coaching has been spot on. There's not a player in this squad who hasn't improved under Daniel Farke. And what a man Daniel Farke is. And I think we've adapted the system as well. We've changed the system. It feels like the Jed Spence situation feels a little bit like I wouldn't say so much the turning point because we were in a good place before the Jed Spence situation happened, but it feels like we've got another gear out the team now. Archie's gone to right back. We're a little bit more defensive on the right hand side and a little bit more open on the left, and it just balances itself out so well. Just checking my notes here. Anything else I want to cover? And we've got quality in this team. Listen, we have got quality in this team. Joe Rodon, for me, is the best centre back in this league. He's just flawless week in, week out. He's commanding. He's a leader at the back. He wins everything in the air. He's good on the ball. He's a leader. I think I've said leader twice there. just everything about him just feels like the perfect championship centre half, and someone who I think for me comfortably makes a step up to the the next level if we are to get promoted. He's just an outstanding player, and the difference he's made across that whole back line is probably the biggest thing for me. That one player. Listen, Archie Gray, is only just coming to the Leeds team. So, technically, however you want to classify Archie Gray, but Pascal Strauch was still here last season. Junior Firpo was here last season. Liam Cooper, whoever it has been in that back four, was here last season. We could not defend to save our lives last season, but Joe Rodon coming in, not only has he improved the back line, he's improved everyone around him, and that is a sign of a top player. It's a special sign in this one. I think we've made so many good recruitment decisions this season, but that one for me is the one that's changed everything. Joe Rodon coming in, from the second he's come in, we've looked for me like the best backline in the league. That type of improvement. And yes, I know we dropped down the league from last season. It's difficult to make the comparison, but from that one player to go from having the worst defence in the Premier League to the best defence, yes, I know it's a league below, but you can't deny this improvement is absolutely phenomenal. And what a signing it's been, Joe Rodon. Honestly, if we can make that a permanent, I'd be absolutely over the moon if we can make it a permanent, because I love that man. Absolute. He was born to play for Leeds United. I heard, some mention about, Conor Roberts being born to play for Leeds United because his personality, his playing style. But Joe Rodon is another player who's born to play for Leeds United. And talking to players who are born to play for Leeds United, Ethan Ampadu. If Joe Rodon's up here, Ethan Ampadu is an extremely close second. And I could even make an argument for Ethan Ampadu being our most important signing, because the difference he's made to the midfield is huge. But the fact he can drop into that back four and just he looks like he's played centre-back his whole career. And yes, I know he's played centre-back at times in his career, but that's mainly been in the back three. Going to centre-back in a back four when you're not particularly tall, with teams are going long against us because that's how they think they can get at us. But Ethan Ampadu, it's the IQ to play in that position. The fact that, if anything, we've improved at the back. Listen, that's no criticism of Pascal Strauch. This is a pure praise of Ethan Ampadu of how good he's been this season. And then Gruev's gone in. It just feels like Daniel Farke's always that one step ahead. I think we were all panicking when, obviously Pascal got that injury. But then you've got the emergence of Gruev. Dan James gets injured. Now you've got the emergence of Wilfred Gnonto coming into the team. Joel Pereira's a drop-off in form. Bamford goes into the team. Sam Barham gets injured. Firpo goes into the team. It's that contingency plan all the time off Daniel Farke. And we don't have a lot of depth in terms of numbers, but what we do have is depth in terms of quality. And I think that's what I was trying to say earlier on. This is what is so impressive about how we've restructured this Leeds team. We really have restructured this Leeds team quickly. And we've been unlucky in other games. Listen, we've had some annoying defeats like this season that have made this, a case of us chasing Southampton and Ipswich rather than being the team that's being chased. You look at Stoke away, Preston away, West Brom away, but we've been unlucky in those games. It's not that we've been worse than those teams. They've took their chances. We haven't. Obviously, we weren't fully at it in those games, but we have been unlucky to lose those games. We've had some bad luck this season. Missed penalties, dodgy refereeing decisions. We want another one today. Clear penalty at 0-0. It could have changed the game. But we're finding that way now. It feels like now this Leeds team, the other gear we've found is that we just totally control games. First bit of the season, we're creating chance after chance after chance, but we're never in total control of games. I think now we're in total control. Defensively, we don't give up chances. We give up one chance a game at most, at the absolute most at this moment in time. And sometimes the teams take it, sometimes they don't take it. Today, they didn't take it. You're always going to get this at championship level. Teams are always going to get chances at times, but we seem to eliminate risk as much as we can as a Leeds team now. We have had some bad luck, even in the games we've won. We've had some shocking decisions in the Preston game, shocking ones today. But we're still finding ways to win games. It doesn't rattle us, it doesn't bother us, and that is what's so impressive about this Leeds team. And we had a great start to the second half, didn't we? The first half, I thought we were a better team, but we were still maybe a little bit in second gear. Second half, we had such a good start to it. We get the goal, the game starts to open up, and we're in total control. I never felt for 1 minute like we were not going to win that game today as soon as we went 1-0 up. And that's a beautiful feeling. It feels like this Leeds team just knows how to manage games compared to the previous Leeds teams we've seen over the last 2 years before this one. What a job Daniel Farke has done. We start to open the game up. On another day, Crescentia Somerville gets 2 or 3. It doesn't concern me in the slightest Somerville's slight drop off in terms of goals. The performances are still there. I thought that was one of his best games of the season today. And the fact he didn't score or assist shows just how good he was. He was more unlucky, if anything, I felt, in front of goal. There was no question to me, so some of them will be back on the goals and assists very quickly because he could have had 2 or 3 today. On another day, he does. Jorginho Rutter, exactly the same. It's a pleasure to watch them two play football. It's a pleasure to watch the whole team. This is a really, really likeable Leeds team. It's likeable to watch Leeds again after the last 2 years, and that's the greatest praise I can give to Daniel Farke. But the creative freedom he's given to Somerville and Rutter, to just express themselves on the pitch, and we're still able to be so solid as well out of possession, despite having two such creative, individual, magical players, and who do put their own, work in. They absolutely work as hard off the ball as they do on it, which is so pleasing as well. They're not luxury players by any stretch of the imagination, but to be able to afford them this type of creative freedom and still be so good defensively just sums up what a great job Daniel Farke's doing. And we have put the pressure on the other teams now. Ipswich, I think, you look at that defeat last week against Maidstone. Is that their Sutton United that we had, a few years back, where we were going really well at that point under Gary Monk, and then we could completely dropped off after that defeat. Defeats like that can affect teams really badly. Southampton as well. Listen, they're not totally unbeatable, Southampton. It's quite clear these teams aren't unbeatable. We've closed up the gap very, very quickly. And yeah, let's see if the pressure tells. It might not be tomorrow, it might be the week after, but we will get chances to close up. These teams will drop points. We will drop points at times as well. It's a championship at the end of the day, but we will get chances. We can't get too downhearted if Southampton and Ipswich win their games tomorrow. We will still get chances to chase them. It's a long season. There's still well over a third of the season to go. So absolutely fantastic that we've put the pressure on. And it's a great result and a fantastic recovery from that West Brom game. I think if you told anyone would be second at this point in the season after that West Brom defeat and the Preston defeat, yeah, it's an amazing recovery. But defensively, we look so good. As good a Leeds team as I've seen, in terms of on pound for pound, as good a Leeds team defensively as I've seen, really. This is such a good Leeds team, out of possession. So structured, so disciplined, and then on the ball as well. We've got the magicians in Somerville and Rutter. People like Dan James, Nonto, who can step up in big moments as well. Patrick Bamford in recent weeks, Joel Perreault off the bench, Jade Anthony off the bench. We have got a lot of talent in this squad, and we're getting the absolute maximum out of it. An absolute full praise to Daniel Farke, because this is such a fun Leeds team to watch. This is a really, really fun Leeds team to watch. And yeah, it just feels like this is going to be a really, really... It's going to be a stressful this back end of the season. There's no question about that. But I'm enjoying it as well. I'm enjoying fighting at the top, winning games in different ways. Sometimes it's a little bit more ugly. Other times it's just through pure brilliance of Somerville and Rutter and the players around them. But the fact we've got players to come back as well. Dan James, Connor Roberts coming into the team, leadership in the team, experience, and energy as well. Likes of Archie Gray. I mean, you just wouldn't know Archie Gray isn't a right back. He looks so comfortable there. And just amazing. Gruev as well. Gruev's IQ is just phenomenal on and off the ball. I think we talk a lot about how good Gruev is on the ball, but off the ball as well. He's so disciplined. He reads the game so well. And he's just slotted into that Ampadu role fantastically well. And that is a sign of a great team, a great manager, that we can adapt to these situations so well. And this is a Leeds team that I think is going to push all the way. And I hope it gets the result it deserves at the end of the season. We've had a really unsettled pre-season. Southampton and Ipswich have had 2 months on us. There's no question about that. They had a totally settled team, in the start of July. We were starting the season with, players that aren't even at the football club anymore. A lot of players who aren't at the football club anymore. So it's an amazing turnaround, and not just from Daniel Farke. Nick Cowan's recruitment's been absolutely outstanding. The 49ers have really inherited a terrible situation from Victor Orta and Jesse Marsh, etc., Radrazani. It's an amazing turnaround. And it feels like the decisions we've had to get right, we've got right. We've had to make big decisions, and we've made the big decisions and gotten spot on. Jed Spence was a big decision. Letting Jed Spence go, but it feels like that moment has just kind of, not because Jed Spence is a bad player or anything like that, but it feels like we've found that perfect balance now to this Leeds team. We've got that more discipline right inside. I think Archie Gray is more intense in his defending than Jed Spence is, to be honest with you. I think he's more disciplined positionally as well. I just think we're getting the absolute maximum out of this Leeds team, and I think we can really push all the way. There'll be frustrations along the way, but let's see what this Leeds team can do. Fantastic result today. I've rambled on a little bit, but I am absolutely buzzing, guys. I am absolutely buzzing. It's the second time we're recording this one, so hopefully this one's gone okay. Big thanks for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button and the like button as well. Absolute pleasure as always, guys. Leeds have won away from home. Bristol City away. Bristol City 0. Leeds 1. Get in there. And a big shout. I need to shout out Crescencio Somerville again, because some of the moments he produced today, so unlucky not to get a goal and assist, but he was magical today. Jorginho Rutter, you can't put into words how magical he is on with a ball at his feet. But for me, man, the match, it's got to be someone in that back four. I can't even. I think the back four was just all four were just so impressive today. And probably for Archie Gray, I thought he did a fantastic job on Pring on the left hand side, who's a really dangerous outlet in this league. On that left hand side. I'm going to go Archie Gray, man, the match. Let us know in the comments down below your thoughts. But hit that subscribe button and like button as well. And we'll see you later, guys. Thanks very much for watching. See you later. Cheers, guys.